Debo Adegbile, who's a president's nominee to lead the Civil Rights Division in the Department of Justice, is a man who renews my faith in the American dream. He's the son of Irish and Nigerian immigrants. To say he grew up in poverty is an understatement. There were times when he and his mom, he was raised mostly by a single mom, were homeless. Despite these challenges, he worked his way through the educational system and to the top of the legal profession. He graduated from prestigious New York University Law School. He argued two of the most important civil rights cases of his generation before the United States Supreme Court. He's received numerous awards for his legal prowess and his commitment to civil rights. As one of the nation's foremost civil rights attorneys, he's eminently qualified to lead the office that enforces federal laws prohibiting every type of discrimination, including discrimination in voting practices. Despite all this nominee has achieved, Republicans have not given this man a fair shot at confirmation. His time at the NAACP, where he worked for 12 years, involved many different things. But one of the things he did not do, he did not step foot into a courtroom representing that violent murder in Philadelphia that occurred in 1981 when he was 13 years old. A person who wrote an op-ed piece in the Wall Street Journal not long ago, who was the district attorney, chose not to re-seek the death penalty, even though he's writing op-ed pieces about what a bad guy, a man who had nothing to do with the case. The defendant in 2011 was resentenced to life imprisonment without parole. Death penalty was gone. But how can we engage in guilt by association? I repeat, the nominee did not step into a courtroom for the murder. He did not write one word in any brief for the murder, not one. He worked at the NAACP and oversaw the litigation and signed the brief third down the road. He had nothing to do with the appeal as far as arguing it. Even the Philadelphia Inquirer, the hometown newspaper where this murder took place, the hometown newspaper of the police officer who was so tragically slain, said, and I quote, "It would be hard to find a better candidate for the position." And I agree with that. To argue that the nominee, one of the country's foremost legal scholars, especially when it comes to civil rights, should be disqualified from the justice post because he participated in these appeals is an affront to what it means to live in America. This country allows every convict to exhaustively appeal a verdict, even when all the prior evidence appears to have assured his guilt. Close quote. He's constantly, this nominee, stood for the constitutional right as well as Americans' fundamental right to participate in our democracy. He's exceptionally qualified for the job which he's nominated. Opponents have used his defense of the Constitution as a political weapon against him. He deserves an affirmative vote to be judged on the body of his work and the admirable quality of his character. I thought that's what we did here. It's a real shame, Madam President, that people are questioning whether or not he deserves this vote.